Daniel had been praying for months. Every morning before work, he would sit quietly beside his bed, close his eyes, and pray. Lord, please change my situation. Please open a door. Please take away this burden. I have prayed so many times. Why don't you answer me? At first, Daniel prayed with confidence. Then weeks became months. Nothing seemed to change. The door he wanted to open remained closed. The problem he wanted God to remove was still there. And slowly, Daniel began to wonder, does God hear me? One night, exhausted and discouraged, Daniel opened his Bible. His eyes fell upon these words. Call to me, and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. Jeremiah 33:3. Daniel read the verse several times. If God promises to hear me, he whispered, then why hasn't he answered? That night, Daniel learned something important. God's silence does not mean God's absence. Sometimes God answers yes. Sometimes he answers no. Sometimes he answers wait. And sometimes God is working in ways we cannot yet see. Daniel remembered a time when he had desperately wanted something that later turned out to be harmful at the time. He thought God was ignoring him. Looking back, he realized that what felt like rejection had actually been protection. He began to understand that prayer is not a way of making God do whatever we want. Prayer is a relationship with God. We bring him our desires, our fears, our tears, and our questions, but we also learn to trust his wisdom. Jesus himself prayed in the garden before his crucifixion. Not my will, but yours be done. Even Jesus surrendered his desire to the Father's will. Daniel also discovered that sometimes the problem is not that God has stopped listening, but that the answer requires patience. God's timing is not always our timing. A seed planted today does not become a tree tomorrow. Some prayers require waiting because God may be preparing circumstances, changing hearts, or preparing us for something we are not yet ready to receive. Daniel also looked honestly at his own heart. The Bible says, "You ask and do not receive, because you ask with wrong motives." James 4:3. He realized that some of his prayers had been centered entirely on what he wanted. Lord, give me more. Give me this opportunity, change this person, make my life easier. But now, his prayers began to change. Lord, if this is not good for me, close the door. If this is not your will, give me strength to let it go. If I must wait, teach me patience. If you don't change my circumstances, change me. And something unexpected happened. His circumstances did not immediately change. But Daniel changed. He became more peaceful. He became more patient. He learned to trust God even when he could not understand God. One afternoon, Daniel received news that the opportunity he had prayed for was permanently gone. For a moment, his heart sank. Then he closed his eyes and whispered, "Father, I don't understand, but I still trust you." Months later, another opportunity appeared, one Daniel had never imagined. It was not the answer he had originally requested. It was something better suited to the person he had become. Daniel smiled and realized that during all those months when he thought God was silent, God had never stopped working. But Daniel also learned something deeper. Not every unanswered prayer will eventually receive the answer we hoped for. Some prayers may remain mysteries. Paul prayed 3 times for his suffering to be removed, but God answered differently. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. God did not remove Paul's difficulty. Instead, he gave Paul grace to endure it. And perhaps that is one of the hardest lessons of faith. Sometimes God changes the situation. Sometimes God changes us within the situation. So if you are praying today and wondering, why doesn't God answer me? Don't assume that He has forgotten you. Keep praying, keep trusting, keep seeking Him, and remember, silence is not always rejection. Waiting is not always denial. A closed door is not always punishment. And an answer different from yours is not proof that God doesn't love you. You may not understand what God is doing today, but you can still place your life in His hands, because faith does not say, I understand everything. Faith says, I don't understand everything, but I trust the one who does. And sometimes the greatest answer to prayer is not receiving what we asked for. It is discovering that God Himself is enough.